Hey, what's up, Goxays, and welcome to my introduction video on the Enneagram personality types for the My Little Pony characters. In this video, I'll briefly explain the Enneagram and what we're going to talk about in future videos when I explain each character and their Enneagram type. But if you already know about the Enneagram and everything about it, then go ahead and click on any of the later videos in this playlist to learn about the Enneagram of any of the characters in My Little Pony series. Alright, so with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and learn about the Enneagram. The Enneagram is a personality typing system that describes patterns on how people interpret the world and manage their thoughts and emotions. You may be familiar with the Myers-Briggs Type Indicators, or the MBTI, though the way I see it differently from the Enneagram is that the MBTI more so explains a person's behavior, whereas the Enneagram more so explains their motivations. But anyway, this isn't an MBTI video, this is an Enneagram video, so let's get back on track. The Enneagram has 9 different personality types and maps each one of these types on a 9-pointed diagram which illustrates how the types relate to one another. Each of the 9 personality types is defined by a particular core belief and how the world works. This core belief drives your deepest motivations and fears, and fundamentally shapes a person's worldview and the perspective through which they see the world and the people around them. Now, while our core beliefs are not necessarily incorrect, they can limit how we view ourselves and others. Understanding our Enneagram type and how it colors our perceptions can help us broaden our perspective and approach day-to-day situations more effectively. So pretty much everything I've said about the Enneagram explains that from a holistic point of view. So these next points I'm going to bring up about the Enneagram is what we'll actually talk about in the analysis videos for each character from My Little Pony. First and foremost, the core types. That would be the individual 9 types you see on the Enneagram. Type 1s, or their formers, are known to be perfectionists. You often see them being a bit overly critical of themselves and even of others too. But they can't help it because that's just their nature. They want to make sure that everything is just spick and span. Type 2s are known as the helpers. They generally are very empathetic and sincere and warm-hearted, and they try their best to be helpful to anybody out there. Sometimes it can come at a cost though. Type 3s are known as the achievers. They're all about climbing up the corporate ladder or trying to achieve their next goal and really be a jack of all trades. You can almost say that they're sort of like the businessmen or businesswomen out there. And while being an achiever is great, sometimes they can lose sight of some of the more important things in life. Type 4s are known as the individualist. They're usually all about expressing themselves in their individuality. With that in mind, that's why you wouldn't be surprised if you see a Type 4 being an artist. They like to express their thoughts and emotions through any sort of art medium, whether that be drawing or acting or even playing an instrument. Type 5s are known as the investigator. They're usually very analytical with their thinking and their approach toward life. They'll think about all possible scenarios before they take an action usually. Oftentimes they like to do a lot of research into a topic, even if it may not be the most useful for society. You can pretty much say that people who are Type 5s are more likely engineers or scientists. Type 6s are known as the loyalists. They're reliable, hardworking, responsible, and trustworthy. They usually foresee a problem before it happens and try to do what they can before the problem happens. Though, if they don't feel like they have control of the situation, it definitely brings their anxiety up. At the end of the day, Type 6s really desire security, and they usually have problems with self-doubt and suspicion. Type 7s are known as the enthusiasts, or as I like to call them, the party animals. Yeah, I think the name pretty much explains it. They're all about having fun. They just want to run to whatever's shiny in front of them, or whatever's shiny next to them. They're usually the party animals that like to give people a good experience and give themselves a good experience. Whenever someone else feels happy, they feel happy. Type 8s are known as the challenger. What they really desire is to be in control of their destiny and their future. So generally they'll come off as being assertive a lot of the time and doing everything possible to get what they want. And last but not least, we have the Type 9s, also known as the peacemaker. As the name implies, they're all about living in peace within themselves and with others. They're generally very kind and easy to get along with, almost like that friend that just doesn't complain about anything. But sometimes that internal peace that they crave for can come to the cost of giving in to others' demands so they don't rock the boat. So that's pretty much all the 9 personality types in a nutshell. And along with the core 9 personality types, there's another thing that they have, which are called wings. Now I'm not talking about the wings that you see on Pegasi and alicorns. The Enneagram Wings are the types right next to the core type. What they signify is that the core Enneagram type can pick up the personality traits from one of their wings. Let's use the type 9 for example. They can have either a 1 wing or an 8 wing. Since the type 9 is all about having inner peace, how they go about it can be different. For example, the 9-wing 1 will pick up those personality traits of the type 1 of being a bit more of a perfectionist. They'll typically be a bit more timid and shy and try not to rock the boat around other people. And you could even say that this wing of the type 9 tends to be more introverted. On the other hand, 9-wing 8s are more extroverted, and they'll be more challenging and daring and assertive in order to get their inner peace met. So you see that there are two different approaches that the 9-wing 1 and the 9-wing 8 take in order to achieve their core value of inner peace. They just go about it in different ways. And you could say that the goal is to balance out our wings and rely on both of them whenever the time calls for it. It's just that we tend to rely on one more than the other sometimes. Alright, now one last thing I'm going to cover in the following videos are the Enneagram Arrows. What the Enneagram Arrows signify is how we behave whenever we're stressed or whenever we're healthy and want to grow and be a better person. So for each of the 9 Enneagram types, there's a direction of stress and a direction of growth. For the type 9, as I like to use that as the example, because I am a type 9, their direction of stress goes toward a type 6, where they tend to be very anxious. However, in the direction of growth, they go toward a 3, where they'll be an achiever. And this is where type 9 can actually figure out who they are, and what they want to do in life, and achieve all the goals and dreams that they have ahead of them. The Enneagram Arrows apply for all the 9 types, though I'm not going to go into all of them for this video. I just wanted to use the type 9 for this example, and we'll dive into the Enneagram Arrows for each of the 9 types in the following videos. Alright, well, I think that's enough to explain about the Enneagram for now, and there is a lot more we could explain too, like the instincts and the tri-types, but just for an introduction video, for someone who may not know what the Enneagram is about, I think this is enough. So with all that said, feel free to check out the next video on why I think Fluttershy is a type 9 on the Enneagram. Or you can skip to a later video in the playlist to figure out the Enneagram type of your favorite My Little Pony character. Alright, well I'll see you in the next video, and as always we are Eternal for Life.